All right, we're recording. I'm going to keep this fast. It is approximately 4 minutes till I can close the gates for any more sunsetters. I have some people in there, but they get a chance to look at the sunset. To my loyal viewers and friends in YouTube land, I apologize for being so bad with getting back with comments and emails. It's just extremely busy time, including the wife was in the hospital for 4 days. She's at home doing well, so, you know, the price of doing life. Okay, the big message is a proposed experiment. We all like experiments. Let's see what happens. Anyway, two researchers, two surveyors, plant surveyors from the Chicago Botanical Gardens are doing a kind of a round Lake Michigan survey of pitcher thistle, Sericium pitcheri. It so happens that somebody in their infinite wisdom thought that they can control the invasive Canada thistle by bringing in a weevil from Asia. I wish I had a sound, wah, wah. Yeah, that always works, doesn't it? To bring in another species to control another invasive species, and it backfires because it turns out that this weevil actually likes our very rare, endangered or threatened, I forget which at this time, pitcher thistle. So the weevils are going at the pitcher thistle, could possibly decimate them because, again, somebody in their infinite wisdom brought a beetle or a weevil in from Asia intentionally to control another thistle. I'm thinking of my gardens. Now, I have certain plants that the deer like, and I have a clever way, I was going to stop myself, but it's pretty darn clever, way of disguising, not trying to make them unpalatable, because the deer still know they want to eat that, but they're just on the stinky side, and if they're hungry, they will go into it. I take a different tact. I disguise the plants with teas I make from verbena, any of the monardas, bee balm, wild bergamot, or lavender. And when I spray this tea that I make onto the plants, the deer will go to those plants and they won't think, wow, that's what I want to eat, but it's just kind of stinky. I'll wait till I'm hungry. They'll look at those plants and think, those aren't the plants I want to eat because I just plain don't like them. And so they move on. And after a few episodes of spraying my monarda, verbena, or lavender tea on the gray-centered cone flowers and the other ones, the deer just leave them alone, and we have no problem with them. Now, insects are extremely good at tracking plants via chemical signals, or as we humans call it, odors. An example is red admirals will go right for this little planter, 4 feet by 2 feet, I have with stinging nettle, and it's the only stinging nettle within this 32-acre preserve, probably outlying it, but they can find that. And the weevils are the same as far as zeroing in on plants that they like, the thistles. And so I'm going to contact, I forget their names, I've got it written down, the researchers, the plant surveyors from the Chicago Botanical Gardens, email them, and propose that I take a portion of our pitcher thistle patch in our protected dune area and spray it with, lavender or verbena or whatever, monarda, and just then watch and see, because you can see the signs of the weevils in the flower heads. Do the weevils avoid those that have these teas placed upon them? Are they fooled? Are they disguised? And we'll see. The nice thing is that you could spray things on plants. You could take a big old tobacco leaf and soak it in water and put nicotine on the plants, which would dissuade insects, but it would also potentially kill pollinators. Whereas the mints and the lavender encourage pollinators. Pollination is a good thing. And so that would be a valid experiment. I don't know if anybody's ever tried it before. You've heard it here first. Don't steal my idea. Well, actually, I really don't care if somebody steals it and puts their name on it, because my wish is that we find ways to do something like that, and I know that I thought of it, so that's enough. Anyway, it's time for me to move. It's after a quarter after. It's time to run out there and close that gate to keep any potential person from coming in, because it's a fact of life. The people that come right at or even a little after sunset to watch the sunset are the same ones that want to camp out there all night long. That's it. John signing off. Thank you for watching.